I want you to picture a giant, multi-car train blasting right through your backyard. Not once a month, but multiple times a day. You'd feel the ground shake, hear the roar in the air, and watch this massive force of steel pass just inches from your front door. For most of us, that sounds like a disaster movie. But for the residents of a few narrow blocks in Hanoi, it's been a reality for over a century. This is the insane story of Hanoi's famous Train Street, a place where life is lived on the edge, and a colonial legacy that refuses to fade away. This whole thing started back in 1902, when French colonizers began building the Hanoi-Haiphong railway line. This 102-kilometer single-track railway was a critical piece of engineering designed to move resources from the capital to the port of Haiphong. Back then, it was laid through open space. But as Hanoi grew, the city didn't just expand to the tracks. It grew over them, swallowing them whole. What started as a simple transportation route became something much more extraordinary, a community that literally built its life around the daily thunder of passing trains. A colonial legacy and a symbol of resilience. The tracks were originally laid to connect northern provinces and make it easier for the French to transport goods across the country. Initially, the railway wasn't squeezed between buildings like it is today, but over the decades, as Hanoi's population boomed, people started building homes and businesses that crept right up to the railway line, creating the impossibly narrow alleyway we recognize now. Some families have lived here for generations. You can meet residents whose grandparents were among the first to call this corridor home. This unique living situation quickly became a symbol of Hanoian resilience. During the turmoil of the Vietnam War, the train street was more than just a railway. It was proof of the people's unshakable spirit. As conflict rocked the city, the trains kept running, a constant lifeline, and the community around it held on. Life continued. The elderly played games, women cooked meals, and kids played, all just feet from an active railway. Many early residents were railway workers and their families, so they built a community that adapted to the rhythm of the trains. They turned a hazardous corridor into a living space, where children would even place coins on the tracks to have them flattened by the passing locomotive, a cheap and thrilling toy. The rise to global fame. For most of its life, Hanoi's Train Street was a local secret, known mostly to the people who lived there. That all changed around 2017. Social media had arrived, and with it, a global audience hungry for unique, eye-popping experiences. Photos and videos of the massive train squeezing through the tiny alley, passing inches from cafe goers sipping coffee, went viral. Instagram, especially, helped turn this residential back alley into a world-famous tourist destination. Suddenly, everyone wanted the thrill of Train Street. The surge in popularity was explosive. Seeing an opportunity, local residents, many from families who had lived on the street for decades, began opening cafes along the tracks. The first cafe opened in 2017, and its success sparked a boom. Soon, the street was lined with small businesses, their open fronts offering a front-row seat to the daily spectacle. Adorned with colorful lanterns and vibrant signs, the street became the perfect, albeit dangerous, photo op. CTA, The Story of Train Street, is a fascinating look at how communities adapt and how modern tourism can transform a place, for better or worse. If you love uncovering the hidden stories behind famous places, make sure you smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, because we explore unique spots and their untold histories every week. The perils of popularity and the struggle for safety, the very thing that made Train Street famous, the heart-stopping closeness of the train, also became its biggest problem. The flood of tourists, all scrambling for the perfect selfie, created a chaotic and dangerous mess. People would stand right on the tracks, seemingly oblivious to the approaching locomotive, forcing drivers to slam on the brakes. One driver even reported making 3 emergency stops on the same short stretch because tourists were so focused on their phones. Understandably worried, Vietnamese authorities stepped in. In October 2019, they ordered all cafés and businesses along the tracks to close. They put up barriers and stationed police to keep tourists out of the most popular sections. The shutdown hit the local residents hard, as many had come to rely on the tourist income. But the pull of Train Street was too strong to be snuffed out by a simple closure. And so began the on-again, off-again saga of its accessibility. The street would be closed, enforcement would eventually relax, and the crowds would creep back. After a quiet period during the pandemic, businesses began reopening in 2022, only to be met with another crackdown in September 2022 for safety violations. There have been plenty of close calls. In September 2022, a foreign tourist was struck by a train while trying to take a picture, though he luckily got up and walked away. More recently, a viral video showed another man slipping and falling towards a moving train while filming, only to be pulled back by bystanders at the last second. As of early 2026, there have been no confirmed tourist deaths, but that feels more like a matter of luck than a sign of safety. The Train Street today and its uncertain future. So, what's the deal with Train Street today? Well, it's complicated. As of early 2026, the street is still accessible to independent visitors, but with some major strings attached. Organized group tours are officially banned. Access to the most popular sections in the Old Quarter, along Phuong Hung and Tran Phu streets, is often blocked by guards and barriers. For many, the only way to legally and safely see the train is to visit one of the licensed cafés, whose owners are now in charge of their guests' safety. They'll guide you in and make sure you're in a safe spot when the train barrels through. The train schedules can be a bit unpredictable, but they generally pass several times a day, with more frequent runs in the evening and on weekends. The experience itself is still an undeniable thrill. The ground vibrates, a whistle blows, and then the massive locomotive fills your entire view, passing with just inches to spare. The gust of wind that hits you is a stark reminder of the power you're witnessing up close. However, the long-term future of this iconic spot is very much in doubt. In early 2026, Hanoi's city authorities proposed a plan to stop passenger trains from running through this famous section altogether. The plan suggests rerouting trains to different stations, which would effectively end the Train Street experience as we know it. This is part of a larger project to ensure safety and preserve the historical value of the nearby Long Bien Bridge. But it raises a huge question. Without the train, is it still Train Street? For over 120 years, the railway that slices through the heart of Hanoi has been a constant. has witnessed colonial rule, devastating wars, the reunification of a nation, and the explosive growth of a city. It has been a workplace, a playground, and a backyard. And for a few wild years, it became a global sensation, a symbol of Hanoi's chaotic charm and a bucket list destination for travelers worldwide. What's happening at Train Street tells a bigger story about tourism, authenticity, and safety. It's a balancing act between preserving a unique cultural experience and protecting human lives. The local residents have shown incredible ingenuity, turning their bizarre living situation into an economic lifeline. But now the very thing that brought the world to their doorstep might be taken away. Whether the trains continue to rumble through this narrow corridor or are rerouted in the name of safety, the legacy of Hanoi's Train Street will endure. It will remain a powerful story of a community that built its life on the edge, a vibrant, resilient neighborhood that, for over a century, has learned to live with the iron giants that thunder through its heart. It's proof that sometimes the most extraordinary things are found in the most unexpected of places, right on the edge of the tracks. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more travel comparisons, hidden gems, street walks, local culture, and real-world travel experiences from around the world, from Travel 360 Productions.